Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Happy Sunday. Happy December 10th. And wow, we had a X class solar flare last night. You can see by my eyes that I didn't get a lot of sleep. And I spent a lot of time yesterday reading and researching on things that were bringing me passion. But not being able to sleep last night with the flares was an interesting one. Did you feel it? It was at 2:06 Mountain Standard Time, so that would have been 4:06 East Coast, 1:06 Pacific. So here in the States, right? So wow, hi, I'm here. All right, so I want to start with sort of doing an overview of what led up to this, because over the last 2 to 3 weeks, we've talked about this. It's like there's a lull. There's no way to explain it. Whether it's repetitive C class days where it's just like C1, C2, C3, and these are X class or these are C class solar flares, which means that they're tapping you, and they're just never letting go. Pam Young had said there were like 20 in one day last week. So Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, the highest X class we had was in C6 or X class. The highest solar flare we had was a C6, right? And then on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, it started to go to M3, M1, and I think the highest one there was an M3, right? So, after having so much energy swirling around for so long over the last year, it's kind of like yawn, give me something else to do. And maybe we are a little exhausted from the constant tapping. Like, are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Because when I do that, I go to Lee Harris, who talks about that this is readiness, right? And we'll go back and talk about that in a minute. So Danny in the comments also said, that Mars just began its retrograde. So Mars goes into when it goes retrograde, it goes into that fire, like, I'm here. What do you need me to do? So it's like it's out of action, but into passion, into initiation, into exploration, right? So Mars went retrograde. Pluto is now in Aquarius. And number two, the Schumann resonance is just acting bizarre. It has patterns that instead of coming from the top to the bottom are going sideways. It has little sporadic graphs coming in from the bottom. It has blackouts. So we know some energy is happening that's quite unusual. Okay. Also, we had a big 7 point plus earthquake off of the West Coast, especially off of California, which put some tsunami warnings out. So our physical world is starting to rock, right? The planets are getting intense, and the flares are a little silent. And I think there's a reason for that. And I want to just take you on a journey with that reason, because I think it's something really interesting, right? So when we had this X class flare this morning at 2:06, it was a 20-second long. It wasn't that long of a hold, but it was, some of them are 6 seconds, some of them are 9, some of them are 30, but this was a 20-second hold. And then it dropped immediately back down to like C1, C2, C3. Now, I knew something might happen because in the last few days, we had at least been bumping up to M's a little bit more often, and we have some sunspots that are active. However, what was that about? So when an X class comes in, it pops open our it's our imagination, it's our potential, it's a vision. It's like, what do you want to be? What are you here for? Stop sitting around twiddling your thumbs. Start thinking about who you want to be and what is possible. That, in tandem with Mars going retrograde, means this isn't a time to sit and shut back down. This is a time to get ready. So that led me to this interesting idea of talking about warrior energy, because we are all warriors, and we have been over the last 18 to 24 months as we've been navigating every day that we go through this, getting up, walking through the day, going to bed, trying to sleep at night, or hopefully sleeping. We are in warrior energy. We're observing, we're taking things on, and we're monitoring and adjusting. So I thought I would start first with the definition of a warrior. The most obvious one is a warrior, someone who participates in warfare. That's the thing that we sort of think. However, it's also someone who faces struggles, conflict, battles, and has fighting skills and experiences. I'm like, I know that one really well. I've been a warrior for a long time, but I know that I have skills. I have taken on some big things and I have worked it. Then the definition was engaged aggressively or energetically in activity, a cause, or a conflict. Sound familiar? Now, the aggressive part I think is interesting. It means that our Mars is harnessed. Our right shoulder in is Mars. Our the Sephra of 5 in the Tree of Life. It's where our willpower says, "Oh, I'm going after that, and you're not going to stop me." So, as you notice, when the solar flare started, I went into hyperdrive. Like, oh, we have things we need to talk about, right? So, when we're talking about warriors, I have this beautiful collection of cards for you. So the first is like when we're in warrior mode, we're ready to go, and our job is to remove all of these grommets that are hot, all these triggers and reactions, and to let go of these artificial stories and to be prepared. It's also how we. I'm going to just start putting these one on top of the other. How we remove the emotional triggers and start to just focus on our water, right? How we become more sentient and match the environment around us and let the environment influence us. How we neutralize our projections, which is that me thinking this, or is that them, or how do I know the difference? It's how we trust and allow things to happen. This is the Knight, by the way, of Cups. How we allow ourselves to be guided. How we use our Mars energy and go right after it. And how we have a sense of humor and playfulness as we're going along, because these are the things that matter. This is the Knight of Fire. Okay. So when we're looking at that, there are some significant things that we are doing, right? We are in this physical world. We are paying attention to what the vibrations are, and we're in our mastery. We are warriors in our mastery. We are humans, and we're someone who can show or has shown great vigor, great valor, great, both of those, vigor, valor, courage, and aggressiveness in politics, in sports, in faith, in work, in addiction, in family. And we're facing and fighting things constantly. So then we sort of embrace that we are these warriors. And I think my favorite card of the warrior, to me, well, there's 2 of them. Where is she? I thought she was here. Can't find her. It's really interesting when, oh, there she is. Hold on. I didn't realize I had so many cards on the table that some of them started falling off. So I'm going to put 2 of these together and go like, what the heck? Okay. When we are warriors, number 1, we are confident in who we are and what our skills are. And we hold in the physical form whatever comes at us. We are the Queen of Pentacles. We are also managing the ups and downs and the fluxes of the Wheel of Fortune. So we are both of these. And we are also in vigilance, which is I'm going to hold here until I know what to do next, right? Because we are, as warriors, we're different. We're all different, right? We've been shunned, we've been judged, we've caused reactions in others. I know I have on an almost daily basis in the last 6 months. And nothing I'm doing. I walk in a room and it's like, there she is. And I go, hi. You know, it's an interesting energetic warrior energy, right? We get into the dirty things of life. We say no to marriages. We have boundaries, and we quit jobs that are not in our highest interest. We do things that are in other parts of our culture are like, you're taking too many risks, or you're getting your hands dirty in things that you shouldn't, whether it's child trafficking, whether it is understanding that we're in a galactic control war over Earth. And what does it take for us to be supportive of that and present to that, right? So we do things that others will not and cannot. We confront things. We rebel. This is where our warrior energy comes forth. And we fight, we face things, we fight things, we make decisions that also affect others. We make decisions to leave jobs and we might leave openings. We make decisions to leave relationships or marriages because we need to do something different. We are warriors, right? So we rock the status quo. We are the rebels and those that will face things right now. We are witnessing our world getting louder and harder and meaner and scarier. And we're also totally loving, energetic, beautiful, and present. Let's go back to our queen. This is a badass warrior, right? Absolutely badass. And we're using our wisdom, we're using our clairs, we're using our energetic intelligences, right? We're showing our courage as we manage ourselves, as we manage our own energy, our thoughts, and our reactions, right? We're going back to this, which is, oh my gosh, I have reactions, mental reactions to others. I have emotional stories in my head. This is where we hold our badass skills, right? We're well trained for the last 18 to 24 months, especially those of you who've been following this channel and we've been even in the discussion groups, we've been bringing this information forward. It's amazing what's happening because we're trained, we're experienced, we understand what's going on, and we know how to take care of ourselves when that happens. Right? So, of course, notes are flying all over the place today. You're just going to laugh at this, okay? So, Lee Harris was doing his energy report last week when I was doing my video. So I didn't get a chance to make any reference to it at that time. However, he says that we're readying ourselves. We're readying ourselves and we're trusting our skills and we're trusting our own inner self knowledge and we're trusting our daily courage. So I have 5 tips for you. And one of them is my absolute favorite new skill to use. And I'm going to share that with you. First, I want to invite you to, well, first, I want to thank you. I want to thank you for watching so far and to supporting me. So like, share, pass this around. Anyone else you know who's a badass warrior, send this to them. It'd be really fun. Second thing, I invite you to the discussion group. It's growing. We've gone from 2 to 4 to 7, and it'd be really fun to have you come join. There's a link down below on how you can do that. And third, I'm just grateful for you. I'm grateful for the support that's been coming in and continues to support me on this journey of translating solar flares to you and really doing my own risky rebel work, right? So thank you. All right. First and foremost, first tip I'm going to say is number 1, own the lull. We are in a lull. Make no mistake that the outside world's getting really loud, but I don't want to jump into that. I don't really want to do this anymore. I have no interest in going there and doing this or that, right? Because we're in this stage of endings and completion. We're in the 9s on tarot. We've done all the work, and now we're like, so is it time yet? Is it time yet? And I like that Lee says we're ready, right? Where we have refined and we continue to refine our skills. We're practicing some of the tough places. We're showing ourselves to our people, like, hey, this is who I am. This is what it's really what has me excited right now. And we're being a lot more authentic, right? And it's also time to rest and to deepen our self-care and to keep keeping to ourselves to a lot of degree. I spent the whole weekend so far, well, it's only Sunday, but Friday night and Saturday, deep on the couch, deep into Sarah J. Maas's third Crescent City, which probably lends itself to my warrior energy today. So I'm resting, and resting is a good thing. And there was a little like tap on the shoulder that kept saying to me, talk about what it's like to be an athlete, when you're training, or someone, a musician, someone who's has a craft, a skill, and they start with the foundations, right? And they practice and practice and practice foundations like we've been doing over the last 18, 24 months. Is what's a solar flare? What does it do? What are the symptoms? How do we treat them? How do we hydrate? And there are previous videos where you can go back. Just look for the titles and the big numbers, and you'll see which ones have really been helpful. However, there comes a point where if you want to go play sports or you want to do more in professional performances in music or what dancing or whatever skill set you have, that you study differently. You're doing the refinement. You're doing this is where I harness my power into this move, into this play, into this team. And this is how I rest. And this is how I take care of myself. And I do this with a lot of seriousness because I'm keeping my body in shape and ready, right? So, number one, own the lull. Number two, expand your authenticity, your power, because our authenticity is our power, right? It's our badass energy, and it is how we're going to walk through this world from today moving forward, which is this is who I am. This is me. These are my skills. This is my experience. This is what I bring to you. You're going to rewrite maybe your resume, your CV. I've had a lot of fun on Canva rewriting my CV, and I even went onto ChatGPT and said, like I need some words that are going to be very powerful and not the corporate norm and not the woo, but something that blends right straight into it. And I'm having a lot of fun finding ways to describe myself outside of the box of what I thought it was, and dropping some of the conditioned jargon and saying that I'm changing. I've changed. I'm not the same human that was in front of you 2 years ago. I'm not the same human that was in front of you 5 years ago, 10 years ago. I can tell you with all honesty that parenthood was hard for me. I was angry a lot. I was reactive. I don't have those pieces in me. I'm changed. And so it's kind of nice to go like, hey, maybe it's age, maybe it's all of my experiences, maybe it's my warrior courage, but I'm a changed human at this point. And I think it's really important for each of us to own that and to see that in others, that we're in very big times right now, and how we show up in our authentic energy. And you can tell authenticity when you hear it and when you feel it, right? So that's number two, expand your authenticity. Number three, remove the blockages, old habits, patterns of self-medicating, people that talk about drama. Now see the people, places, and things that are really feeding you, or the ones that are starting to fall away, because we are definitely in endings. There's no doubt about it. And it's sad in some ways, and it's also getting us ready for beginnings, right? So pay attention to when someone's person, place, or thing is out of resonance, in dissonance, when it is incongruent or it's out of alignment with who you are, because this is where our courage is needed, which is I have to put that down. I have to stop drinking beer. I have to stop smoking weed. I have to stop fighting with my children or my spouse. I have to, in whatever term you come up in your mind, this is where the blockage is. I have to stop disconnecting. I have to stop projecting. I have to stop judging, find out where those blockages are and knock them out. So remove any blockages. And number four, best tool ever. Really good friend of mine who went to mystery school taught me this 2 weeks ago, and I've been playing with it and it works. It's the idea of command. I have the ability to command what happens in my field and what happens to me. I like the two, I did not put it down here, the two of fire, which is dominion in the thought deck, which is like, I always call it the Wonder Woman, like you put one arm out, you put the other out, and you command it, right? So here's the dialogue. I command my spirit and divine creator, source, Holy Spirit, Yahshua, source, whatever term you use. I use divine creator. It works for me to bring all of me in me now. So say that. I command my spirit and the divine creator to bring all of me in me now. And then just take a deep breath and watch how your body owns it. Feel yourself, feel your feet on the ground, feel your breathing, feel everything become so empowered, right? Use this tool, write it down, stop the video, repeat it a couple of times, customize it the way you want, but make sure that all of me in me now, here, fully present. Here we go. Cool, huh? All right, fifth tool or fifth skill tip. is that we hold compassion. We have compassion. We are compassion. We see the world with compassion because we are on our own trajectory. We are going to be called to do things that maybe our others are not. Our timing may be faster than others, slower than others, or not at all. There are some that cannot step into this warrior energy, and that's not their job. Then there are those of us who are stepping there and going, wow, it's hard, isn't it? And then look around, yeah, the people that I'm meeting, the encounters that I'm having now with other fellow warriors is profound. So we hold compassion, we hold courage together in a world that's falling apart in some ways, and also opening up to something new. So if you like this video, make sure you share it and you like and subscribe it and hit those buttons because it drives my numbers up. Put some comments down there. No one's been talking lately. It feels a little lonely. I need more comments down there, and come join the discussion group. And again, if you want to support me, you can buy me a cup of coffee, hit the PayPal. You can join the Patreon. I really appreciate you. Have a good week. Take care of yourselves.